Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive headfirst into the wild, wonderful, and sometimes weird world of animal idioms in English. You know, those colorful phrases that can make you sound like a pro or leave you totally scratching your head. Right? I bet you have. It's that awkward, super uncomfortable feeling you get when you're in a situation where you just don't belong. Well, that phrase itself, a fish out of water, is a perfect example of what we're tackling today.
You know, the English language is basically a zoo. It's just packed with these expressions that use the animal kingdom to talk about our lives, our personalities, and our problems. So in this explainer, we're going to decode some of the most common ones, and we'll start with why we even use them in the first place.
So first things first, why do we do this? Why are our conversations filled with cats and dogs and wolves and birds? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple, and it all comes down to the power of a good mental picture. Just think about it for a second. When you hear a phrase like busy as a bee, what happens? You instantly picture a little bee buzzing around like crazy, and boom, the meaning is crystal clear. Our brains just love these vivid images, and that's what makes these phrases so catchy and effective. They're like a brilliant little shortcut for our minds.
Okay, so now that we know why we use them, let's get into how we use them to describe people. And this is where animal idioms get really interesting, helping us nail down complex human behaviors in just a few memorable words.
Our first one is a total classic you've probably heard, a wolf in sheep's clothing. It sounds pretty dramatic, right? Well, that's because it is. This is definitely not a compliment.
So, what's it all about? Deception. Plain and simple. This idiom has some serious history going all the way back to the Bible, which is part of why it's stuck around. It describes someone who looks all sweet and harmless on the outside, like a fluffy sheep, but is secretly dangerous on the inside, like a wolf.
And this example just nails it, right? The classmates seemed totally trustworthy, but their actions, the cheating, showed their true deceptive colors. It's that aha moment of discovery that this idiom is all about.
All right, let's shift gears from people to the situations we find ourselves in every day. I mean, our daily lives can feel like a jungle sometimes, and you better believe we have the idioms to match.
This is one of the most common animal idioms you'll ever hear, especially in meetings or at awkward family dinners. You can almost feel the tension in the air when this one comes up.
Just picture an actual elephant standing in your living room. I mean, it's huge, right? It's impossible to miss, but everyone is just politely trying to talk around it. That's the exact feeling this idiom captures, a big, glaring issue that nobody wants to be the first to bring up.
Yep, perfect example. Everyone at the table knows about the bad grade. It's hanging over everything, but they're all busy talking about the weather instead. That silence, that collective act of ignoring the obvious, that is the elephant in the room.
And now for an idiom that's all about efficiency. And don't worry, despite how it sounds, this is a really positive and super practical phrase about getting things done smartly.
At its core, this one's all about accomplishing two totally separate goals with just one single effort. It is the ultimate multitasking win. This is such a great, everyday example. You've got one block of time, and you knock out two different chores. It's all about being clever and efficient with your actions.
Okay, so we're getting what these idioms mean, but actually using them correctly? That's a whole other ball game. So let's look at a few common trip-ups to avoid so you don't end up with egg on your face. Oops, there's another one. Let's really break this down, because these mistakes happen all the time. First off, context is king. As you can see here, an idiom like chicken out is super informal. It's great for your friends, but absolutely not something you'd put in a professional email. Second, and this is a big one, don't mix up your idioms. Feeling awkward in a new place makes you a fish out of water, because you're not in your natural environment. A black sheep, though, that's something different. That's the odd one out in a group, often seen as a disgrace to the family or the team. So, see the difference? One is about discomfort in a new place, the other is about being a disappointment to your people. The meanings are really distinct, so you've got to get them right.
So, are you feeling a little overwhelmed? Hey, don't be. Getting the hang of these phrases is totally doable. Here's a simple 4-step action plan to turn you into an idiom pro.
First up, learn them in context. Watch movies, read books, see how they're actually used. Second, keep a journal. When you hear a new one, write it down. Third, make it fun with flashcards. Turn it into a game. And finally, and this is the most important one, you've got to practice. Join a speaking club, find an online forum, and actually use these phrases. That is how they'll really truly stick.
So there you have it.
You're now ready to navigate the wild animal kingdom of the English language. The only question left is, which idiom are you going to let out of the bag first? Thanks for joining this explainer.